We are not that far away from the Cardinals opener now. What is it? This Wednesday, the game's morning game on Sunday. So we are like less than 4 days away from opening kickoff now, Wolf. And when you look at this game, Buffalo's a team that won 11 games last year. I would say not that they're being overlooked this season, but they're kind of. I think people are
Yeah.
taking a wait and see approach with the Cardinals because they're waiting to see if the Cardinals take off. I think people are taking a wait and see approach with the Bills to see if they start to fall apart.
Stop and think about going into 2023 last year. Remember how hot the Buffalo Bills were?
Yeah.
All that.
That was everybody's pick.
It was everybody's pick. And we all know how that went. It did not work out. Having said that, from a depth chart perspective, it appears as though they've taken a step back. Okay, but will that truly be the case? You can never determine that until you start playing games.
Yeah, they. I made this point earlier in the week. This might be the right time to catch them because, look, you mentioned all the guys that they've lost on defense. They switched up the passing game. No more Gabe Davis. He's in Jacksonville. No more Stephon Diggs. He's in Houston, where everybody else went this offseason. But I mean, Khalil Shakir was solid last year. They bring in Curtis Samuel. They draft Keon Coleman. Those guys, in particular, Coleman, like there's a lot of upside there. It just might not hit in week one. Now, I know you could say, well, Marvin Harrison Jr. is a rookie and you're expecting a lot from him. Well, yeah. Marvin Harrison Jr.'s dad is Marvin Harrison Sr., and Marvin Harrison Jr. is one of a kind. So there is a similarity, though, between these two teams. They're both kind of leaning on a rookie receiver to jumpstart the passing game in the Cardinals' case and kind of revive it in the Bills' case.
Yeah, once again, it's going to be interesting to watch the Buffalo Bills and the kind of offense that we're going to see from the Buffalo Bills ever since Joe Brady took over as the offensive coordinator. This has been a different offense. It has truly been a blending of the two, if you will, right? I think they got a little heavy on the new age stuff the year prior. I think they got a little heavy on it. But I think this is what we're going to see, more balance from them this year. I think the Arizona Cardinals have a decided advantage in one area, specifically in this game. And if there was one area I could pick for this advantage to be with the Arizona Cardinals, what do you think I would say?
I feel like we're going to say the same thing. I feel like Buffalo, more so than maybe these other teams they're going to see at the start of the season, can be run on.
Yes.
And that's what the Cardinals, I know they
See,
want to do.
now all of a sudden you've got a team that was elite in terms of running the ball. And I'm talking about the Arizona Cardinals. And it only got more elite when Kyler Murray came back as their quarterback. And not because Kyler was running all over the place. No, not at all. They got more dangerous because Kyler was on the field. There's no doubt about that. And every opponent had to respect that. But it was all about handing the ball off and running the football, attacking the line of scrimmage. You guys have heard me talk about this over and over and over again. Yet the Buffalo Bills struggled defensively with one thing where they weren't great. They were great in almost everything else. Their pass defense is excellent. They'll get after you, of course. On third down, they'll get after you. Their sacks per attempt last year, they were number 3, as a matter of fact. Number 5 in interception rate. The Buffalo Bills, number 5. Number 7 and number 6, respectively, in passing yards per game allowed and passing yards per play allowed. They were excellent against the pass. They were just average to below average against the run. I think the Arizona Cardinals are going to come out, and I think they're going to try to blow them off the ball, literally. Ed Oliver, I think, is their best defensive lineman, Ed Oliver.
Yeah.
Weighs 290 pounds, okay?
Somebody I wanted the Cardinals to get 2 years ago.
Very similar to Aaron Donald. Very similar to Aaron Donald in that regard, just not as productive as Aaron Donald. But very similar, 290, somewhere in that vicinity. I think the Cardinals are going to try to cram it vertical. Isn't that right, JG?
This is Drew Petzing yesterday. He was asked if the Buffalo's front seven impacts the game plan at all.
Both. I think certainly that's the strength of their unit. We have to be aware of that. We have to make sure that we're, cognizant of the matchups we're creating in the run game, matchups we're creating in pass protection. It's going to affect the entire game plan for sure. It's a talented group. They play really well. They're well coached. So.
He also said this.
I think you got to do a lot of different things. I mean, if you give them the same look over and over again, they're good enough that they're going to win more than they lose. I think they've proven that over the course of their careers and their time there in Buffalo. So we got to, I think keep them off balance, make sure we're doing enough to make it hard on them, and trying to do a little bit of both.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Wolf, because you and I both immediately went to Buffalo might be a team you can run on, and the Cardinals. I mean, you said it. They were elite by the end of last year, and then they added Trey Benson, and they added Tip Ryman, and they added to the offensive line. Like, in theory, the Cardinals should be even better at running this year. What about being able to pass on a team that just lost their two safeties? Because at the end of all this, I still think Buffalo's a really good team.
Yes.
And Buffalo's pretty heavily favored in this game, too, if you look on any of that stuff.
Yeah. Well, first of all, you're talking about Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer as well. Those two guys. They were really, really good.
Yeah, that's a lot to lose.
I mean,
that's what I'm
you're
saying.
talking about Jordan Poyer, of course, he's all-pro safety, and Micah Hyde was a good scrapper as well. I loved the way he played. But, yeah, they've got a kind of a turned-over secondary right now. But it's really interesting to me, once again, the evidence is there for the Arizona Cardinals to be able to run the ball. The Buffalo Bills last year, they gave up 18.3 points per game. 18.3. That's number 4. That was number 4 in the National Football League. Yet the red zone defense was number 17. In the second half of the NFL in terms of their red zone defense. How is that possible? Well, you know what? In the red zone, if you can run the ball, and you can run the ball on the Buffalo Bills, you become more effective in the red zone. They struggled in the red zone. They didn't struggle points overall. They didn't let you get in the red zone a lot, the Bills. But when you did get in the red zone, because if you could run the ball, it's a huge advantage, suddenly they're number 17. Wow.
It makes
more
sense.
Evidence for being able to run the ball.
Logically, too, that a team with Josh Allen's probably going to be leading in a lot of these games, so you're probably not as inclined to run the ball if you're losing to Buffalo by 17 and you're on your own 28. But once
Correct.
you're at their 14, that all kind of goes out the window anyway because you're that close, and if you can run, you're going to try and score. Nick Rallis, on the other side of things, was asked why Josh Allen is so difficult to stop.
I think the ability to play the game multiple ways. Obviously, like, everyone can see the talent, whether it's the arm talent or the mobility, the power that he runs with, right? But the ability to play on schedule and off schedule at the right time, sees the ball, oh, there it is, it's open, gets it out of his hand. Oh, here comes pressure, gets it out of his hand, but nothing's open. Now he knows how to extend and make plays down the field. So just a complete player in that aspect, which is what makes him hard to go against.
This game is going to be won or lost on the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball right now because the Buffalo Bills, if they can line up and run over you, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to be, if you tell me Josh Allen is operating from a balanced offense, his entire playbook is set before him right now, and it's going to be really, really hard to stop them from scoring points. And if they're scoring points, now all of a sudden maybe Kyler Murray is going to have to come out of that balanced offense himself and become one-dimensional. And if you get one-dimensional against the Buffalo Bills, who were number 3 in sacks per attempt last year, you're in trouble.
All right, we got Josh Allen real quick, too.
Yeah, so here's Josh Allen from today discussing the Cardinals' defense.
They fly around. They are a high-intensity, pedal to the metal type of defense. They don't take plays off. They play extremely hard, and I know that their record wasn't great last year, but it doesn't speak to who they are as a team. I think that they obviously the second-year coach brings a lot of excitement and energy to that team, and we're going to have our hands full come Sunday because they're ready to prove people wrong too.
Ooh. There it was right at the end. Thank you, Josh, for being so complimentary.
This has the makings of one of the better games this weekend, I think. If you look at like the whole schedule, I know we'll do that later in the week, but if you look at the whole schedule games, there's some great ones. Obviously, Thursday night, Chiefs, Ravens. There's a few other, but like this has the makings of being one of the sneaky, really good games of the week.
Thanks for watching Wolf and Luke. Tap to see more and click the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.